Hey guys, welcome back. So today we'll be classifying triangles by their angles and the length of their sides. Remember that if you have an acute angle, remember that an acute angle in a triangle is when all your angles are less than 90 degrees. For an example, if you have a triangle like this example here, where all my angles are less than 90, I have 75 degrees, and 30 degrees. If all my angles are less than 90, then this is an example of an acute triangle. If you have an angle in a triangle that is exactly 90 degrees, then this is an example of a right triangle. So if I have a triangle here, and notice that this angle here is 90 degrees, then this is an example of a right triangle. If one of your angle in a triangle is more than 90 degrees, then this is an example of an obtuse triangle. And remember for obtuse triangles that your angle has to be more than 90 degrees and less than 180 degrees. So in this example here, notice that one of my angles here is greater than 90. This is 110 degrees. So since I have an angle that is greater than 90 degrees, this is an example of an obtuse triangle. And remember that the angle for a straight line equals 180 degrees. When you are measuring your triangles by the length of their sides, remember an isosceles triangle, that means that it has two equal sides. A scalene triangle has 0 equal sides. That means none of your sides are equal. And then an equilateral triangle, when you're measuring the length of their sides, that means all 3 sides are equal. So I'm going to say 3 equal sides or all equal sides. So let's look at this example here at the bottom. So notice here that I have 3 angles listed, 71 degrees, and then 38 degrees. And then for my sides, I have slashes going through 2 of my sides, indicating that those 2 sides are equal. So how do we classify this triangle by the sides and their angle? If I look at my angles, we see that all of my angles here are less than 90 degrees. If all of my angles here are less than 90 degrees, so far I know that I have an acute triangle. Now, if I'm looking at the sides, notice that I have 2 sides, like I said earlier, that are equal because of my slashes. If I have 2 equal sides, then I know that I have an isosceles triangle here. And if I combine the two, we have an acute isosceles triangle. Let's look at this example here. Inside my triangle, I have 60 degrees, 90 degrees, and then 30 degrees. Remember, this here is a right triangle because it equals 90 degrees. So if I'm classifying this triangle by the angle, this is going to be a right triangle. And then if I'm measuring by the sides, notice in this example, I have no slashes going through any of the sides. That's going to tell me that the sides are equal. So this is letting me know that I do not have any equal sides. Since I do not have any equal sides, this is going to be a scalene triangle. And if you combine the two, you're going to get a right scalene triangle. Let's look at this example here. Notice that all my angles are less than 90 degrees. I have 78 degrees, 57 degrees, and then 45 degrees. Since all my angles are less than 90 degrees, so far I know that this is going to be an acute triangle. And then now if I'm measuring by the length of their sides, I do not have any indications letting me know that these sides are equal. So since I have 0 equal sides, this is going to be a scalene triangle. And when you combine both, you're going to get an acute scalene triangle. Let's look at this example here. So if I'm looking at the angles here, notice that I have one angle here that is greater than 90 degrees. Since I have an angle here that is greater than 90 degrees, then I know so far that I have an obtuse triangle. And then if I'm looking at the sides, notice here that I do have 2 sides that are equal. That red slash is indicating to me that I have 2 sides that are equal. Since I have 2 equal sides, this is going to be an isosceles triangle. And if I combine the two, we have an obtuse isosceles triangle. Let's look at this example here. Notice that all of my angles inside the triangle are 60 degrees. They are all equal. There's two things I do want to point out. So notice here that all my angles inside my triangle are less than 90 degrees. So yes, this is an acute triangle because all my angles inside are less than 90 degrees. However, also remember that since all my angles are equal, this is also an equal angular triangle as well. So in some places you may see acute triangle, and then some places you may see an equal angular triangle. Remember that equal angular is letting me know that all my angles are equal. However, an acute triangle is letting me know that all my angles are less than 90 degrees. So keep that in mind. And then if I'm measuring by the length of their sides, I have indication here that all my sides are equal. Since all my sides are equal, this is an example of an equilateral triangle. And if you combine the two, this is going to be an acute equilateral triangle. Or you may see an equiangular equilateral triangle. Let's look at this example here. Notice here that I do have one right angle here. Since I do have a right angle, this is going to be a right triangle so far. And if I'm looking at the length of their sides, there's no indication here that's letting me know that my sides are equal. Since I do not have any slash or marks through the lines letting me know that my sides are equal, then that means I have 0 equal sides. Then this is an example of a scalene triangle. So if you combine the two, this is going to be a right scalene triangle. Let's look at this example here. If I'm classifying by the angles, I have 90 degrees, 45 degrees, and another 45 degrees. Since I do have a right angle, this is going to be a right triangle so far. Now, this is not an acute triangle, remember, because an acute triangle is when all angles inside are less than 90 degrees. Now let's look over at the sides. Notice that I do have two indicators letting me know that I have two sides that are equal. Since I have two equal sides, this is going to be an isosceles triangle. So if I combine the two, this is going to be a right isosceles triangle. Let's look at this example here. Let's look at my angles. I have a 140 degrees, 20 degrees, and another 20 degrees. Since I do have an angle that is greater than 90 degrees, one of my angles here is greater than 90, which is here. This is an example so far of an obtuse triangle. Now let's look at the length of their sides. So I do have indicators here letting me know that these two sides are equal. Since I have two equal sides, then this is an example of an isosceles triangle. And if I combine the two, this is an obtuse isosceles triangle. All right, so that is all for today, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.